How quiet is that? In summer all you hear are the birds. Don't want to hear a blinking drill clanking and the fracking pumps going and generators and the rest of it. Just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a Lancastrian born and bred. Lived here in Rosica for 7 years now. Me and my husband did an escape to the country for the peace and quiet. February 2014, we were told in a letter by Quadrilla that they were thinking of fracking here in our village. Didn't know what fracking was at the time, no idea. Wasn't particularly against it. So that's when I started doing a lot of research, and the more you research, the more the alarm bells start going off, and you start to realise, you know, fracking isn't what the oil and gas industry want you to believe.
We live out here on the Fylde. We have been all my life and 3 generations before me. And I feel as though fracking is the wrong thing to happen on this area. We're very flat. We've got a lot of interconnecting underlying waterways, natural springs, so any pollution in one area could be transported throughout the Fylde to other areas and other farms. Fracking is this high pressure, high volume, very deep fracturing of rocks that really have not been surfaced to the air for 300 million years. The land does flood. My fields, neighbours' fields, and all this production land could be blighted, which is very concerning for myself and should be for any other farmer in the area.
Fracking worries me on many fronts. There's all the local impacts of the noise and the light and the huge HGVs coming up and down these little country lanes. And also, to be quite frank, our property prices have gone through the floor. Nobody wants to move to an area where fracking is. So, you know, from a purely selfish point of view, they're all the reasons that I'm really opposed to it. But then when you look even further, you start to realise that from the evidence overseas, in Australia, in America, Poland, you know, all the different places where fracking has taken place, there has been problems with health, with water pollution, there have been problems with methane, air pollution, there have been accidents, blowouts that make you question the safety of the industry. Every single level, I've got worries and concerns. From where I'm standing now, you're probably going to get a full view of a fracking rig, flaring stacks. I mean, I look at it and I just think, why would you put a fracking site here? Quadrilla are going to want to go to production, and we're talking across the north of England, hundreds of sites and thousands of wells. For the last 4 years nearly now, I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours researching the industry, becoming more aware of environmental issues. I've no intention of being a political activist. In fact, to be honest, I always voted Tory because my family brought me up that way. I always thought the Tory government would protect us and whatever. So it sort of opened my eyes politically, and I've become now, I mean, there's no doubt about it, I've become a fracking activist and an environmental campaigner.
Hundreds of ordinary residents like myself.
We started off as like a small community group, but we soon realised there were lots of other groups who were already aware of the dangers of fracking. So we formed Frack Free Lancashire, and that's basically an umbrella for lots of anti-fracking groups across Lancashire. And we all work together to look at how best we can help communities like ours. Most of the actions we were taking were going out into communities, campaigning and doing that sort of stuff. But then once they started drilling, we've got more into like direct action. Nearly every day we're outside the site demonstrating. I'm there with my banner. We've actually had local councillors doing it, elderly people doing it. You've even got people from different political backgrounds.
2017 is the International Year of Civil Disobedience.
people were prepared to lock on outside the gates and actually stop Cuadrilla from getting wagons in. So nationally, people were much more aware of what was going on.
We have people from all over the country who've come up specifically because they recognise this as the front line against fracking.
We are on Preston New Road. We've spent a large part of the day in the entrance of Cuadrilla's fracking site. The local farming community in this region is firmly against fracking.
I'm a fruit and veg grower, but I've been in the dairy industry since I was knee-high. We want our land, we want to grow on it, we want livestock on it, we don't want polluted water.
The people who have campaigned against fracking at this particular site in the last 6 years have completely exhausted all conventional means. The council's voice has been disregarded by central government, so people have been left with no other resorts but to be disruptive. The intention here today is not to disrupt traffic, to disrupt bus services, to upset the local community. The intention is to stop activity on the fracking site.
Investors are starting to get a bit twitchy. They know they're going to face horrendous opposition.
By people standing here and protesting peacefully and silently, they're reminding everybody that Cuadrilla and fracking in general has no social licence whatsoever.
I'm seeing for the first time how powerful mass participation in civil disobedience can be.
The beauty of the resistance and the movement is it's rallying everybody together. We've been over to support the people in Yorkshire, they've been over to support us. They're a rural community and they're standing up and fighting the industry. And there will be hundreds and hundreds of communities like ours doing the same.
We're famed for our fertile, rich soils. We farm, we work very hard. People love our countryside. They love the way we do things. They love the manner in which we look after our animals and grow our crops. I don't think fracking is a particularly good idea in this area or in the United Kingdom, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, there's only two major power sources left for the world once we've used all the fossil fuels. We've either got to go to nuclear power, which will fuel us forevermore or kill us, and we blow ourselves up, or we have to go back to the main source of power in the whole world, which was the sun, and look at solar power, wind power, and particularly on the coast here, wave power, which is immense. It's predictable, it's consistent, with minimal pollution problems.
We shouldn't be investing in a whole new fossil fuel industry. I'm all for clean, renewable energy. Look at the countryside here. Why use that land for a fracking site? Why not use it for a solar farm? Then you wouldn't have all the impacts, you wouldn't have the methane being flared off, you wouldn't have the noise. I just think it's potty.
Do I trust Cuadrilla or the government? The people voted against fracking in Lancashire. The government's overruled it once, twice, thrice. Why should the government overrule something we don't want?
The Conservative Party are the only political party that are still trying to extol the benefits of shale gas extraction. The oil and gas industry have been lobbying them for many, many years. So we have one government, one party that is not listening to the people. People have said no.
Once you are aware of what the implications are, your eyes are opened and you can't actually shut your eyes, you can't turn away from it. Thank you.
I've never done anything like this ever in my life, but because it's something I feel so strongly about, it's made me do something about it. And to be honest, I wish more people would do something about it. I wish more people would wake up to what the threat really is and not listen to all the PR spin. I'm just like everybody out there, I'm just a normal person. I walk out of my house and I look at where I live and I think, it's not right, forcing this on communities that don't want it, you're forcing it on me. The injustice of it all gets me angry and more determined to stop it.